Hey guys, Bry-Fy here with the Bry-Fy podcast, and we have another week of Bry-Fy gaming. This time we are playing Survivor on the Division, and what you're watching is one of the few times I've actually been able to beat it, so I decided to make this video to help anyone else who's struggling with the survival game type to maybe help raise your chances at completing it. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So when you first start, and you're not going to see it here, this is just the end of my run, there's a few things you want to make sure you grab right away. Of course, when you're in the safe house, grab the painkillers, grab the fabric, craft yourself something to keep you warm. One of the most important things in here is to stay warm, because that's going to keep your health up, and that way you're not constantly trying to heal, and God forbid you have to use any med kits. The other big and most important things you want to try to do is get electronics and tools right away. You want to craft yourself extended mags, which are only green, so you can only do those with the green. If you're in the blues and the purples, you can't get an extended mag, and it's really hard to pulse down enemies with your guns when you don't have an extended mag. The skills you really want that are super important are pulse and the turret. Pulse is going to let you not go into a situation blind. It also increases your damage output, which is really great. The turret is going to help aggro enemies and also buy you some time if you need to escape, because enemies will focus on your turret instead of focusing on you. So those are two really important things, and I think those are two of the most important things to have when you're running, especially in the dark zone here on survival, but they're just going to help you out the most. Do not be afraid to spend time in the beginning collecting materials and just taking your time, because a lot of people, what their mistake is, they want to just rush to the dark zone or to a landmark as quickly as possible. And I can't tell you how many times I've come up to a landmark, not the first one there, but there's tons of loot, not just from the landmark itself, but from everyone who's died there. And now it's super easy for me to get through the landmark because they've weakened all the enemies or have taken out a few of them. And it just makes things a whole lot easier on me. So do not be afraid to take your time. I know there's a time limit, your health is draining and all that, but when you find the medicine, when you find the painkillers, it's really gonna, that time's going to extend a lot, exponentially. And so just don't freak out. I think that's what a lot of people do. They're in there, they know they have a time limit, they freak out. Don't do that. Some of the best places that I've found to locate loot, gear, and all that kind of stuff is in buildings and the underground. So don't worry about just sitting out there all your time. Go to the underground, find the subway stations, find the railway, get down there. There's tons of loot. Not a lot of people go down there. I can't tell you how many times I go down there and there's still just tons of crates that haven't been opened, tons of fabrics that people haven't gathered. And what's great about being in the underground or in buildings is you don't have to worry about the cold. You're not freezing in those places. So that's a time to kind of catch your breath, collect some gear, and gear up, Of course, once you reach the dark zone, that's when things get really exciting. So now you're looking to get some really good gear. You need at least a purple weapon that's really going to help you out a hell of a lot. I always recommend assault rifles or LMGs because they're just able to put the damage out there as quickly as possible. Snipers work really good if you're using an SVD or an M1A, just something that's, semi-automatic, but you really can't go wrong with an assault rifle or an LMG when you're playing Survivor in the dark zone. And now you saw right here in the video, I was using the turret and pulse, and that helped me get by this hunter without really any problem. Now, of course, luckily for me in this extraction, no one else comes, and so I don't have to fight another hunter off. I get to just extract very carefully, or just very easily is what I mean. Another big thing in the dark zone is it tells you to look for the antivirals. You can see there on the map the little magnifying glass, hey, the antivirals over here. Now, obviously, that you can tell, I don't need the antivirals to extract. All you need is division tech, and there's division tech all over the dark zone. You just have to, if you've been in the dark zone outside of Survivor, you kind of have an idea of where the D-Tech is already. You don't even have to hit the landmarks to find the division tech here in Survivor mode, which, helps you, because really, to me, the goal of Survivor is not to, get the antivirals or be the first. It's to gear, find Survivor caches, find different caches to bring back so you can unlock more weapons. And so, don't worry about doing everything perfectly, just take your time, get the electronics, get the tools, be patient. You're going to have the time when you find the medicine, and everything's going to work out all right, as you could see there at the end of the video. So that was it. Those are kind of my tips. If you have any other questions, comments, or anything that you'd like to add, please feel free to do it at the bottom in the comment section, or you can email me at all my different locations or social media that you probably heard of already. But that's it for this episode of Bry-Fy Gaming. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your weekend. Bye!